Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Voices in the Fog by Ulrime, or Ulrim. I'm not sure how you pronounce the last part. Anyways, let's get to the rules. We have Sudoku, where each digit 1 through 9 appears exactly once in each row, column, and 3 by 3 region. We have maximum, where the digit in row 4, column 5, is greater than all orthogonally adjacent digits. And what that means to be orthogonally adjacent digits is that those are the cells that share an edge with this cell. So this cell must be greater than all 4 digits that are that share an edge with it, in other words. So you could have something like, say, 5 next to 1, 4, 2, and 1, and this would be valid because 5 is going to be greater than all 1, 2, and 4. So that's an example of how maximum works. We have whispers, where cells connected by a green line have a difference of at least 5. So for example, if this were, say, a 3, this would have to be an 8 or a 9, because those are the only digits which are 5 or more away from 3. And some people call this, originally this was called, no, this is still called a lot by basically most people, German whisper lines, but I call them whisper 5 lines because someone basically, a setter, talked about them as whisper 5 lines, and it made a lot of sense because it's extendable to other types of lines. And that's the only reason why I call it whisper 5, because it makes a lot of sense because you could have other types of whisper lines like whisper 2, whisper 3, etc., etc. The thing is, though, someone basically asked me a question if I could point to a video with that. And the thing is, these are not very, other than whisper 5 lines, which are known as German whisper lines, and whisper 4 lines, which are known as Dutch whisper lines, there are very, very few puzzles that take advantage of the other type of whisper lines. I'm not completely certain of why, because it seems like it would be decent um, as a puzzle set, a rule set. But I don't know. Maybe it's just the puzzles that I look at that tend not to have those type of rule sets. I remember a couple that I've done, but I don't. I've done so many puzzles now that trying to search through all of them is kind of well, it's been kind of a pain. I actually tried to look for these, and right now I haven't found very many. And I haven't. I can probably. It's probably. I can count on my hand or two hands the number of puzzles that have included whispers outside of Whisper 4 or Dutch Whisper or Whisper 5 lines, which are German whisper lines. There's been very few like Whisper 3 lines. I remember a couple of Whisper 3 and Whisper 6. There was one that was basically all different types of whisper lines, which was great. But I don't remember when I did that. It was a long time ago. So, but if I do find some, I'll basically um, I don't know. I'll probably post a response to that comment. But if you're interested, let me know in other types of whisper, non-whisper 4 or whisper 5, or essentially Dutch whisper or German whisper lines. And I'll try to find them if there is enough demand to see if I can find those videos. Anyways, that was a tangent. Let's continue. We have a negative constraint where all possible green lines are given. That is, any two cells that touch sides or corners and are not connected by a green line have a difference of less than 5. Okay, so therefore this is the negative constraint involved with the German whisper / whisper 5 line. So that means if this is 3, these digits cannot have 8 or 9 in them because they share a corner or an edge with this 3, assuming this was 3. So all possible German whisper relationships, which means cells that have a difference of 5 or more with each other, whether they're in a corner or whether they're in whether they share a corner or they share an edge, must be filled out in this grid. If they're not, then they cannot have. They have a difference of less than 5. Yeah. So that's the negative constraint. And then we also have fog, where some cells are hidden by fog. Correctly placing a digit clears that cell's fog. So correctly placing a digit in the cell will clear the fog just in that cell, and no guessing is required. So those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now I'm going to get started. Let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, on a Whisper 5 line, you'll always alternate between one set, which is low or high, with the other set, which would be the opposite. So the digits in the way, how do you know that? Well, if you take a low digit, what digits can be next to it? And the low digits are 1 through 4, the high digits are 6 through 9. 1 can be next to 6 through 9, 2 can be next to 7 through 9, 3 can be next to 8 or 9, and 4 can only be next to 9, all of which are high digits. So next to a low digit must be a high digit. And it works the other way around, right? 9 must be next to 1 through 4, 8 can be next to 1 through 3, 7 can be next to 1 or 2, and 6 can only be next to 1. So next to a high digit, which is 6 through 9, you're guaranteed a low digit, which is 1 through 4. So one thing we can do with Whisper 5 lines is basically just choose a random set and basically say, I will make it a certain color or a certain set. Then the sets next to it have to be the opposite set, right? So this is opposite of those, and opposite of that has to be an opposite set. So this is pink, pink. These are orange, and this must be pink. Next to this pink must be 2 oranges. So this digit is in between 2 unique digits. If this were, say this was a low cell, that means all of these would be low. I guess that's possible. You have at least 3 unique digits that are lower than this cell. So this has to be at least 4, and it could be up to 9. If this were 9, 9 would be greater than all of these 3. Or they would have to be all low. But if they're all low, they would have to be a Whisper 5 line next between them. So this can't be, and so if this is 9, one of these sets is going to be low. And 9 can be next to every single possible digit that is low, 1 through 4, on a Whisper 5 line. So there would have to be a Whisper 5 between this and the other cell, at least at every other cell that's low, and it's either pink or orange, but there is no Whisper 5 line between them. So this cannot be 9. What about 8? If we have an 8 here, 8 is guaranteed to be can be next to a Whisper 5 line if it's 1, 2, or 3. We are guaranteed 2 lows, at least, in either this set or this set. So one of them has to be at most 3, which means there would have to be a Whisper 5 line between this digit and the low set here. But there is none. So this cannot be 8 either. Therefore, this is 4, 5, 6, or 7. 7 cannot be next to 3 unique digits that are cannot be greater than 3 unique digits which are high. So pink has to be low. So this is low, and orange has to be high. Well, out of these low, we are guaranteed at least, at most, they can be 2, 3, and 4. Well, 7 can be next to a 1 or 2 on a Whisper 5 line, but there's no green line between that and any of the cells. So this can't be 7 either. Interesting. Okay, so this is 4, 5, or 6. These are lows next to 2 unique digits on a Whisper 5 line. So it's 1, 2, or 3. This is a low next to 2 unique digits on a Whisper 5 line. So are these. So this is 1, 2, 3 as a triplet here. Okay. These are 2 unique digits because they're in the same column. These are in the same row. These are the same column, row, column. And this one, we know it's just these two. This is next to 2 unique digits on a Whisper 5 line. So it's 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9 here. Actually, this... Well, it could be 6 here. So then it's 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Okay. This, if it were 6, then... would have to have a green line going from it to one of these cells because one of them is guaranteed to be 1. So this cannot be 6. If this were 4, one of the, well, this could be 3 here, which would force this to be 8. Oh, these 2 digits don't have a Whisper 5 line between them. So therefore, they do not have a difference of 5. So this cannot be 1 here. If this were 1, it would be guaranteed that it would have to be next Whisper 5 line between them. This can't be 9 then because of that. And 8 would have to have a green line drawn there too. So this is 6 or 7 there. Which means this cannot be 3 here. So it's 1 or 2. Okay. Remaining digits in box, in the central box, are 4 through 9. 6 is guaranteed to be one of these digits, but there's no green line between this cell and any of these. And 1 and 6 are definitely 5 or more apart, so this cannot be 1 here, which forces this to be 1 here. So that's 1. One of these digits has to be 7, 8, or 9. Because it cannot be anywhere here. So one of these is 7, 8, or 9. 2 is guaranteed to be, can be next to 7, 8, or 9 on a Whisper 5 line. So if this were 2, you would guarantee have to have a green line coming from here to one of these 3 cells, but you can't. So this must be 3, which makes this 2. 3 is only next to 8 or 9 on a Whisper 5 line. So this is 8 or 9. This is 7, 8, 9 here. This digit, if it were 4, would guarantee that 8 and 9 would have to be 9. Sorry, since 9 is one of these, because this is an 8, 9 pair, we are guaranteed if there was a 4 here, it would have to share a Whisper 5 lines with one of these. So this cannot be 4. This is 5, which eliminates 5 in the rest of the box. So this is 4, 6, and 7. And again, if 4 were here, it would share a corner with a 9 and would have to have a Whisper 5 line between that and the 9. So this can't be 4 here. We have 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. Okay, that's interesting. So this is high, guaranteed. This is medium. 9 cannot be any of these digits because it would be, or 6, 7, 8, 9 cannot be any of these digits because there would have to be a green line between that and all these digits then. So this has to be low and 5 as a possibility. This can't be 5, so this is low. Which makes this a 3 or 4. If this were 3, this would guarantee have to have a green line between this and this because 3 and 8 or 9 is have a difference of 5. So this can't be 3. This is 4. This has to be... There's no green line between these two. And we know this is 8 or 9. So if this were low, it would guarantee... Because it can't be 3 or 4, it would be 1 or 2, which is definitely 5 or more away from 8 or 9. So this cannot be low. So this is green, which makes... Or sorry, this is pink, which eliminates pink here. And this is a 5. This cannot... It could be low if it's 4. So 4 would have to be next to... Have to have a green line next to it with 9. So this cannot be 9. This is 8, which makes this 9. And this can't be 8 or 9. So this has to be a 6, 7 pair, which means this can't be 6 or 7. It's 1. So that's 1. That also eliminates 6, 7, 7 in the rest of the row. So this can't be 7. 2, if this were 7 here, they would not be able to have... They would have to have a whisper 5 line between them. So this is 6. This is 6, and that's 7. 4 cannot be sharing an edge with a 9, so this can't be 4, this can't be 6, this is 7, which makes this 6, and that makes that 4. And this is low, this is high. Next to 9 cannot be low digits, because they would have to have a green line next to it, so this is low or 5, and this can't be 5, sorry, can't be low or high. This is high or 5. And this can't be 5 because of the 5 in the row. So this has to be 6 or 7 here. Cannot be 7 because it's sharing corner with a 2. And there would have to be a green line between them. So this is 6. One cannot be next to a high digit because they would have to have a green line with it. So these are all low digits or 5. And this can't be 5 because of 5 in the row. So this must be 2 or 4. 2 would have to have a green line between that and 7. So this can't be 2. This is 4. That's a whisper 5 line there. So this must be 9 here. That's red. These are all low then, so it can't be pink. This is blue and blue. We have 4 blues in this upper central box, so this cannot be blue anymore. This is pink and this is high. So this is 8, this is 5, this is 2, 3 as a pair. And 2 cannot be next to the 7 because they would have to have a green line between them. So this is 3, that's 2. Two cannot be here because that would have to have a green line between those. So this must be 3 because it can't be 1 or 4. So that's 3. Remaining digits in row 5 are 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 7. Okay. This can't be 1. It would be next to a 6, and there's no whisper 5 line between them. I do see an outline of a whisper 5 line there. I don't know if we should be using that though. This has to be 5, 8, or 9 here. This cannot be a high, because if it were high, it would have to be 8 or 9, which would definitely be 5 or more away from 3. So this must be low or medium. This could be 6 or 7, so that's not guaranteed. If this is high, it would be 6 or 7. Okay. This 4 eliminates 4 in the rest of the box. It's 1, 2, or 7 here. Maybe we can use that. I don't really like using that. Anyways, remaining digits in column 4. We have 1, 3, and 4, all of which are low. So this cannot be 1, because there would be a whisper 5 line between that. Remaining digits in column 5 are 2, 7, 8. This cannot, well, could be 2. No, if this was 2, there would have to be a whisper 5 line between those two. So this can't be 2. Remaining digits in column 6 are 5, 6, and 9. This cannot be 9, because then that would be a whisper 5 line between those. Huh. Okay. This cannot be low, because if it were low, it would have to be 1 or 2, and there would have to be a whisper 5 line between them. So this must be 6, 7, 8, or 9. Let's just make sure we have all the coloring. There's a green hint there. I'm not sure if we should use that. This cannot be 7, 8, or 9, because then there would be a whisper 5 line between these two digits. So this must be 6. So that's 6, which has a whisper 5 line next to it, so that's 1. Okay. Remaining digits in column 7. 2, 7, 8, 9. This cannot be 2. There would be a whisper 5 line between those two then. This can't be 9, because there would be a whisper 5 line between those two. So this can't be 7 because of 7 in the row, so this is 8. Which eliminates 8 here. In the rest of the column, this has to be a whisper 5 away from 8, so this must be 2. So this is 2, which is whisper 5 away from 7 or 9. This is 7 or 9, so that works. This cannot be 7 or 9, and it's a whisper 5 away from it, so this must be 8. This is a whisper 5 away from these, so it's 1 or 3. This has a whisper 5 away from here, so it's 1 or 3. That means the rest of the box is 4, 5, and 6. This 8 eliminates 8 here. Okay. Remaining digits in row 1. Do I want to do it that way? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This cannot be 3 or 6, so this is 4, 5, 7. 7 cannot be here because there would be a whisper 5 line between them. 3 cannot be here because there would be a whispered line between these. Remaining digits of row 2. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9. 1 cannot be here in this box. If this were 9 or 8, there would have to be a line between the 3 and that, so this can't be 8 or 9. If this were 1 or 2, there would have to be a whisper 5 line between the 8 and there. So this can't be 1 or 2. We have a 7, 8, 9 triplet in column 3, which eliminates 7, 8, 9 in the rest of the column. This can't be 9. This is 5. This can't be 7 or 6 or 5, so that's 4. That eliminates 4 in the rest of the row, so this is 5. This can't be 4 or 5. It's 7. 7 and 2 is a whisper 5 away, and can't be 7 here, so this is 2. And therefore, this can't be 2 or 7 here. It's 8 and 9 as the remaining digits, so this must be 4 here. 4 is next to 9 on a whisper 5 line, so this is 9, this is 8. This is next to 8 on a whisper 5 line, but cannot be 1, 2, or 4, so that's 3. Which eliminates 3 here, so that's 1, which makes this 3. No 1 or 2 here, so this has to be 7, which has to be next to 1 and 2 on a whisper 5 line, so this is a 1, 2 pair here. This digit is 6 or 9, and this can't be 4, 5, because of 4, 5 in the column, so this is 6, which makes this 9. This can't be 6 here, no 6 here. This is 1 and 2, which forces this to be 6 here. And 6 is next to 1 on a whisper 5 line, so that's 1. This is 2. This has to be 7, 8, 9 remaining here. This can't be 1 or 7. So it's 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9. Remaining digits in column 3 are 1, 2, 3. And this can't be 1 or 2, so that makes this 3. That makes this not 3, so it's 4. Which makes that not 4, so it's 5, which makes that 4. 5 eliminates 5 here, so it's 6. There's no 6 here. This can't be 3 or 4, so this is 1, which makes this 3. This is next to these digits on a whisper 5 line, so it cannot be 2, so this must be 2 here. Which is next to another digit on a whisper 5 line here. Cannot be 5, that's 9, this is 5, which 9 eliminates 9 here, so it's 7 and 9. 2 and 3 eliminate 2 and 3 in the rest of the row, so this is 1. This 1 and 3 eliminates 1 and 3 in the rest of the row, so this is 2. This can't be 2 or 8, it's 7, which forces that to be 8. This 8 eliminates 8 here, so it's 9, which means this can't be 9 here or here. This can't be 2 or 9, no 2 or 9 here. This digit is next to that 9 on a whisper 5 line, cannot be 7 or 8, it's 1. Which has to be next to 7 or 8. This 7 and next to this digit here, which cannot be 3, so it's 6, which makes this 3. That's 3 in the corner. We celebrate because we're close to solving it. This can't be 2 because there would have to be a whisper 5 line between them, so this must be 5, and this is 2, which eliminates 2 here, so that's 4 and 2 there. These are fine. We have 1, 3 as a pair here. This is 7 or 9 here as a pair. And this digit cannot be 7 or 9, but it's next to it on a whisper 5 line, so this has to be 8 here. So this is 8, this is 5. 8 eliminates 8 here. We have a 7. This 1 eliminates 1 here, so this is 3. That's 1. 3 can only be next to 9 out of 7 or 9 on a whisper 5 line, so this is 9. That's 7. 9. This can't. This is 4 or 6. 9 can only be next to a 4 out of those on a whisper 5 line, so this is 4. That's 6. 9. This 4 is next to a 9 on a whisper 5 line, so this is 9. This cannot be 8, because then it would have to have a whisper 5 line between that and 3. So this is 7, this is 8, this is 7, and 8. And that's how you solve it. The thought process behind this, I don't know. It's not hard, but I feel like the execution is not very easy. Maybe on the easy level, but I don't know. It's pretty cool, though, using these negative constraints to find your way through the fog of war. I think I just would put this at an easy level. It's not that hard. It's probably a little easier than easy, but the execution becomes rather I don't know. It's not straightforward, I would say. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.